Shauntel Hudson and her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson, are now at the center of a growing storm, and every sign points back to Thomas as the epicenter of it all. Shauntel's attorney invoked her Fifth Amendment right. Thomas Hudson fired back with a counterfiling of his own, accusing Shauntel of putting their children at risk, including claims that she allowed underage drinking while in international waters. But investigators say the source of that allegation is disturbing. The stepbrother himself, who reportedly bragged about the underage drinking in group chats later pulled from the ship's Wi-Fi logs. Those messages, now part of the case file, raise even more questions about what really happened that night. And who knew what? Right after this clip, stay with us, because we found an article that includes leaked information, including Anna's final text messages, and we're going to show you exactly what they said. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Stepfather to testify in that case. So this is not super normal because, again, this stepmother is divorcing from a different ex. It's not necessarily common to bring in a new spouse into this unrelated custody battle. But now when you have a custody battle and then you throw in the wrinkle of someone within that custody battle being possibly charged and accused of another family member, this lawyer for the ex-husband is going to want as many people as they can find that could throw a wrench into the mother being fit to care for the other children. So what we are hearing from people that are tracking this case is that the attorney for the ex is wanting this new husband of the stepmother to become part of this case because he wants to prove the stepmom is not fit to care for the other children if this alleged possible case under her watch with her 16-year-old son. So that is the latest development that we are tracking in this case. Not sure what's going to happen, but the criminal defense lawyer that we spoke with said it is likely we will get more details from what was going on that cruise. Where were the parents? What were they doing? Why were these children staying in this room? Those are questions we think this father is going to be asked. Again, the father we're speaking of is Anna's biological father. So he's going to be asked questions like this. And unfortunately, as we're talking about this unrelated family matter battle, divorces, when it comes to kids, when it comes to visitation, when it comes to family court, these cases are already hard and dirty and not necessarily easy to go through. But then when you throw in, the FBI and a stepson, it just takes it to a different place. So what this ex is trying to do is trying to paint his ex, the stepmom, in the worst light, using anything that they can from this developing criminal situation, trying to get the other minor children out of her care and to be put into his care. So that's what we're tracking. I know you had that death certificate document. Still no updates from the ME, still no updates from the FBI. But as you started to say, just trickling in, we're getting new details on this case, still from that unrelated family court battle. And again, we're tracking the case closely. Still no word on whether or not the judge involved is going to put that gag order, is going to seal the case. If that were to happen, the upcoming court hearing, which is slated for December 5th, that could be totally closed off. Press public ban. As of now, nothing's been filed. So this, where we could see the father have to share his side of the story or answer questions on what happened, is slated for December 5th.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that gag order that we talked about yesterday, because that is a notable piece here while we wait on that, because this testimony that the father is now being subpoenaed to show up and provide. We don't know how much of it we may get to hear, or what more may come of that. So certainly something that we're watching closely.
In a gut-wrenching revelation that has left investigators and family members reeling, Christopher Kepner, the father of Anna Kepner, has confirmed to federal authorities that his daughter sent him 2 text messages on the evening of November 6th, 2025, the last night of her life aboard the Carnival Horizon cruise ship. One of those messages, timestamped at 9:42 p.m., contains a seemingly innocuous detail now under intense scrutiny by the FBI, a reference to feeling watched in the cabin she shared with her 16-year-old stepbrother. This subtle hint, sources say, aligns chillingly with prior reports of the stepbrother's obsessive behavior toward Anna, behavior that family and friends had repeatedly flagged but which went unheeded. As the FBI's Miami field office sifts through thousands of hours of surveillance footage, keycard swipes, and digital forensics, these newly disclosed texts have emerged as a pivotal thread, potentially bridging Anna's real-time fears with the stepbrother's documented fixation on her. Christopher Kepner, 41, a stoic welder who had remarried Shauntel Hudson, broke his silence in a private interview with FBI agents on November 23rd, according to court documents unsealed in the ongoing custody battle over Hudson's children. "She texted me twice that night," he reportedly told investigators, his voice cracking under the weight of grief and guilt. "The first one was around 8:30, just saying she loved me and was excited about the Navy. But the second, at 9:42. She said her braces were hurting from dinner, and then," she added, "feels like someone's always watching me in here. Night, Dad. I thought she was joking about the cabin being cramped. God, I wish I'd checked on her." That watching remark, a small, almost throwaway phrase, has ignited a firestorm among probe insiders. Digital forensics experts are now cross-referencing it with deleted messages from the stepbrother's phone, subpoenaed last week, which allegedly contained dozens of unsolicited photos of Anna taken without her knowledge during family gatherings. Sources close to the investigation, speaking on condition of anonymity, describe the texts as a digital cry for help, one that underscores the teen's unease in the shared quarters with her stepbrother, identified in filings only as TH. Social media breadcrumbs paint a similar picture of discomfort. Anna's private Instagram stories from spring 2025 show her locking her bedroom door with captions like, "Privacy PLS?" Posts liked but never commented on by her stepbrother, whose account followed hers obsessively, according to digital sleuths aiding the FBI. A family friend speaking to Fox News recalled Anna confiding in them, saying, "He knocks too late at night. It creeps me out, but Dad says he's just being brotherly." Fast forward to November 6th. Dinner in the ship's main dining room was jovial, with the group toasting to future Navy adventures for Anna. But by 9 p.m., she excused herself, citing sore braces from the steak. Keycard logs confirm her solo entry into the cabin at 9:05 p.m. That's when the text to her father pinged. First the loving check-in, then the 9:42 p.m. message with its haunting postscript. Surveillance footage, reviewed by agents, shows the stepbrother lingering outside the cabin door at 9:35 p.m., peering through the porthole before swiping in at 9:48 p.m., 6 minutes after the text. No further activity from Anna's phone after 10:15 p.m. The stepbrother's device, however, lit up with a deleted search at 10:22 p.m. How to make someone quiet without noise. By 11:50 p.m., he re-entered alone after a deck lounge visit per footage. The next morning at 7:45 a.m., he swiped in again, alone, while claiming later to investigators he assumed she was sleeping in. The 16-year-old, now under psychiatric hold and residing with a third-party guardian, has not been charged. The watching text now serves as a Rosetta Stone for behavioral analysts. FBI profilers, consulting with child psychologists, note it mirrors classic signs of stalking in blended families. Proximity breeding paranoia. A subpoenaed journal from Anna's locker at Temple Christian School, seized November 22nd, details weird vibes from the stepbrother, including him staring during movie nights and asking personal questions about boys. Experts like retired agent Jennifer Coffindaffer warn that such unchecked fixation can escalate in isolated settings like a cruise cabin, where escape is illusory. Why the shared room? Carnival policy allows teens 15 to 17 in adjacent staterooms. But this trio, Anna, her younger brother, who bunked elsewhere that night, and the stepbrother, defied common sense, especially given the warnings. Christopher, in his FBI debrief, admitted, "We wanted to save money. Thought it would bring them closer." Shauntel, hospitalized briefly for stress and has gone silent, Her social media frozen on a pre-tragedy photo captioned, "Family Forever."